Hey, welcome to the Daily Reps podcast show. I am your host, Eric Joseph Procknell, and I'm inviting you into my war room. So, as you can see, all the stuff that I have up here, if you've never heard of what a war room is, actually, one of my clients had taught me about the war room because she was asking me about um, how I decorate my room, and I was telling her, I got all these calendars and all this stuff and all these plans. You can see just on this page alone, just on that corner, there's probably 1,000 things on there. But she was like, "Hey, you have a war room." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" And she said, "Well, there's a movie out there where it's a girl goes through some struggles. I've never seen it, so I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, where she actually dedicates a room in her house to goals and plans and how she's going to get there and breaking things down. And I'm a huge believer in that. And I'm sure the person that I have on here could also say the same. So welcome guys. This is a good friend of mine, champion bodybuilder Aaron Braun. Aaron, welcome to the show, part two. Normally I would have I was telling you about some of the people that have been watching the show have been, "Hey man, you need an intro song, and you need a catchphrase and something." And I had one easy, but to me, I don't give shit about that stuff. It's the content that's important. And if you need bells, whistles, and explosions, then you can go elsewhere. So this is probably not the show for you. But today we wanted to talk to Aaron. Got really in depth about bodybuilding and what it takes to get there, the mindset, the workout programs, and all that stuff. And today we want to talk a little bit about diet and nutrition. And then we were talking a little bit before the show, and I was letting Aaron know. So on the side, I also do life coaching, and I've been basically mentoring a few younger individuals who've been going through a rough patch. And they have talked to me about asking me how I've gotten through it. And for me, it's been, it's not been easy. Everybody could, say that it's easy, but it's not. It's been very hard. I know Aaron's gone through some hard times in his life as well. And so I'm going to ask you that question, Aaron. I'll let you start off with it, bud, and then I'll give you a little bit of what's helped me.
Well, I'm gonna just warn you that my daughter, she likes Chinese buffet music. So if you hear some Chinese buffet music in the background, I never tell her no. Like, she likes that on. So we will be listening to Chinese buffet music. Just to
I got my Chinese cup.
And then here's my daughter. I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
This has been
How are you?
Hi.
You doing
Say
good?
hi. So she's gonna be. This is like my inspiration. I can't wait to really train with her. I already actually have a couple videos of her, and she follows right along with me. Everything from like shoulder. She'll do shoulder workout with me. She'll do like some stuff she can lift, some squat. Yeah. So speaking of mentoring, and and I noticed you're spelling out your cuss words.
Yeah, I told you, when I first started with you, I slipped a little bit, and then I heard in the background and caught myself. So, which is probably a good thing, because I know YouTube is really, they put the hammer down on that, and anything that's kind of controversial, which I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, you were talking about, younger dudes that are training, and sometimes their problems to us would be not as big as a problem or a hurdle, but to them it is. So first thing is talk about experience and how what doesn't, you're at the end of the day, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna. I mean, for the most part, unless it is something physical or mental or something. But I'll tell you what. Any problems I have, the first thing I do before I even try to tackle them, and I'm not even joking, I will go downstairs and I'll squat. I'll do a nice high rep squat, and I'll probably do at least 4 or 5 sets. And I'm not joking. My mind will be clear within like a half hour, or I'll just go do like a quick just run hard, like a mile, just to get like that energy going, and you make better decisions. You make better, your thought process is better. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. It's better than any medicine that can come in a pill, powder, a liquid, anything like that. And yeah, I mean, before you, I mean, everything you do is mental. I remember when I first heard that. I think, I mean, when Arnold was talking about everything you do in the gym is 80, what is it, 80 or 85% mental, So, yeah, I mean, you gotta remember things that, like, without the bad, there is no good. There's always going to be, obstacles, and I mean, if you can overcome your obstacles, then, Another thing is, picking and choosing your battles. So, like, some people think, I got to have a huge house, or I got to get this car and this and that. A lot of the times, guess what? Like, less is more, and maintaining that stuff is pretty hard. So, like, for example, I mean, I love my fish tank. I got my fish tank here, and this is just, I mean, it's relaxing. I take care of these guys, and this is hard enough, just taking care of, 10 cichlids. You know what I mean? So having a big giant fish tank for what I do to fit in my lifestyle, it'd be too much for me. It really would. But yeah, I mean, I sit here and I'll relax. I got my guitar over there. She's got her guitar. I'll just jam out for, half hour. And mentally, that's like another way to defuse. You can't always just go downstairs and just start rapping. I mean, you can, but
for you and I, because we both are huge physical kinesthetic people, I guess you would say, and I'm a big believer in that, and that's what I've been telling them. So it's nice to hear you to kind of reinforce a lot of the things that I've been saying, because when you keep yourself busy, it does. And especially if it's productive or it's a healthy option, shoot, when you squat, you're going to get stronger legs. That's a good thing. You're going to get better health. That's a better thing. And it's something to take your mind off of it instead of sitting there stewing on it. And then your body actually releases the happy pills, so to speak, your serotonin and all that stuff, which we know that, if we could put that in a pill, everybody would be taking, but exercise gives you that. And so I've been telling them that a lot. So it's awesome to hear you say that, and taking care of a fish tank, which we know is relaxing and things like that. I look at you. You spoke about picking your battles in the first conversation that we had. I remember you talking about that, and that is definitely something that I kind of brushed off my mind for a little bit. But it's hugely important. When you get a little bit too ahead of yourself or put too much on your plate, all that is just added more stress. And what I was telling them, Braun, was that you need, and I'll probably make a video on this through my life coaching channel on the Daily Reps podcast about small wins, small victories. If it's just going downstairs and doing 30 squats, which is good for your health. If it's making your bed, which is a good thing to do, because to me it's more inviting. Cleaning your house, making a good meal. So every morning I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have a healthy breakfast or a smoothie. And then if you're struggling with that, then you just tone it down a little bit. All right, well, I'm not doing it every day. Right? So
you could bounce a quarter off it.
Oh man, I've been to your house a few times, man. You got your girl helping you, which is a good thing too. But keeping a nice place is huge. I don't know if you ever read Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. He's hugely popular right now. I mean, his popularity is through the roof. I would call him the modern day Plato or Aristotle, because he's very knowledgeable about the things that you need to do in life. One of them is keeping a clean house. Keep
noticing a crooked pitcher.
Making your bed. Ding, because it's more appealing. I know for the longest time, Aaron, I used to hardly ever make my bed because I was like, shit, what's the sense in it? because I'm only going to be in it anyways. But then I realized, if you go to a hotel or something like that, or I go to my parents or somebody where that bed is made, it's just more inviting. It's more comfortable. So it's almost like, again, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, which is the most important thing. And I think a lot of my clients that have been struggling are usually because they keep bringing in somebody that's toxic into their life, and they feel it's better to have that person in their life than it is to be alone.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? It's like anything else too. So I mean, for the younger guys, they have to practice and they got to be mindful. It's like the same, everything, mindful, everything. You got to really, really think about, what do you want? Where do you want to be? How do you want to make something happen? Like, I mean, one of the things too that's great is any kind of inspirational, what is it, audio that like that one you sent me. You can't send those to me at night. You send me something like that at night, I'm not going to sleep.
So just so people understand, so I was sending them. So in YouTube, I'll get these and I'm sure some of you guys might have heard them, but it'll be like Arnold Schwarzenegger talking, or movie clips like Rocky or something, where they'll pick the best things out. And so for the one I sent him was CT Fletcher, who is a world championship strength power lifter. And man, this guy, his words give you goosebumps kind of thing. And I sent it to Aaron, and I agree, man. Those things, they do, when you hear something, a good quote, or somebody on YouTube that's inspirational, that definitely helps, man, because it puts your mind in that, what I like to call that warrior mode. That I'm not just gonna sit here and just dwell on this. I'm gonna make some moves. And the biggest thing that I talk about too is, those wins take effort and work. And you gotta be willing to put the work in. And most people, what they will do is they'll put the blame on somebody else or something, or the circumstance, and never get their butt out of bed, so to speak, go downstairs and do those squats, or read that book, or pull up a motivational video on YouTube and do the work necessary, because it's all, hey, easy is easy. And so, the ones that take the easy route are the ones that usually live the hard life. And it's hard for them to understand or grasp that.
Right.
When you put the work and you put the struggle in, life gets better. It's kind of like duality kind of thing, Same thing.
Yeah.
When we talked to Aaron about, what made him a championship bodybuilder. Why was he able to stand in front of everybody? Number one, what got him up in the top of the top, the best of the best, was the work. And I think, Aaron, you talked about it, when that one time that you didn't win, you knew it, because you knew that you didn't put the necessary work or the effort into it.
It's true. And like so, as far as like everything else, like right now, I'm doing this with you, and but my daughter is my responsibility. So I'm showing that I still can help do stuff with her, incorporate her. She wants to feed the fish right now because she's seen us doing the fish, and it's just, you got to embrace some of the things, and you can still make stuff happen. Like time for like the interview, and time for doing this with my daughter. So like, back to picking your battles. There you go.
Yeah,
that inspirational stuff. So everything that is like, well, you hear the Chinese.
Dude, that's your favorite music right now? Hey, at least it's better than like Barney or something, like.
Yeah, I mean, you can drink a little mushroom tea and rock out to this music
like
right here.
Meditation.
Solid 8 hours. You know what I mean? But I mean, even like, if like some of the stuff I got on my walls is like, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You know what I mean? So I look at some of this stuff every day. You know, there's faith, hope, love. I mean, you gotta, when you walk in love with things, you gotta, everything you're doing is it should be. You see somebody down, you gotta not only just like help them and inspire them, talk to them, but when you do things like that, it builds up your esteem. It builds up your motivation. It makes you want to lean more to the side of going forwards and not backwards. But I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes you gotta go backwards to go forwards.
Right. And I agree. Like when and people, everybody goes through struggles. So when you see somebody that's kind of got to control their life, or these people that so a lot of these clients that I'm talking about have come from already started on. I've been lucky, and I literally came from a good home. My parents stayed together. I started off in a really good place, and a lot of these clients that I have really have kind of right from the beginning of life, it's been hard on them. And then, then it took me older to go through a lot of troubles and struggles. But when I look back at them now, and I think you would agree with me, Aaron, is that I love it. I love now when you have the right mindset, that the struggles, the hard times, that's what defines your character. And that's, you either are the person that rises above it and grows from it and learns the lesson, like I was stating before, or it's something that drags you down, and then you kind of lead a weight. And you usually come across the toxic people are the ones that hurt people are like they say, hurt people. The ones that rise above it and stuff. And so that's one thing I wanted you to talk about too, Aaron, because you were telling me too. Now I've never had this, and I've had people, yes, come into my life that have been very toxic and difficult, and I've had to cut them out of my life. But you were telling me that you've had only your own family members that you had to. And this is what I was telling some of these guys. I'm like, if you gotta literally cut off your own mother, your own brother, you're better off without them, and not to say that you're gonna close that door forever, but they better show you through actions, not words, that they're on your door, not just telling you, hey man, I love you, but literally showing you by their actions in a consistent basis and a consistent amount of time. That, because you could still, people do make changes, but there's also the point where you need to cut them off because they're bringing you down. And again, like I stated before, you're better off being alone than you are letting these people into your life.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, as far as that, if someone hasn't changed in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you see them, if you're already predicting, like if you do something with them, that there's going to be some negative energy, but you feel like you're obligated to, well, I mean, guess what? Everybody's an adult, and I truly believe, like physically, you're an adult. By the time you're between, like, depending on some guys, I've seen some guys that are, 15 that are 16, 17, 18, you're fully capable. Back in the day, they used to have kids going to work at 5 years old. You know what I mean? People don't realize that. There's people started families at 12, 13, 11 years old. As soon as you hit puberty, people were starting families. It's just the way society is built around things now. But yeah, I honestly, I had to cut some people out of my life. And when I say cut them out, there's no room for half measures. That doesn't mean like, well, I'll be friends with them on, social media, and, they can, comment. No, like, you're done. When you're done, that's it. See, so my mind is made up because I gave, like, some family members numerous chances. And here's the thing. So the way I grew up was, I didn't start out good. I started out with everything like that was mentally abusive, physically abusive. My atmosphere, I grew up in Tonawanda, in like the hood part of it. I got people that have, they come up to me like, oh, I remember you when you were a kid. You were like 2, 3, and you were just like outside on your own. And I'm not, and this is the truth. I'm my daughter. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? But the thing is when you look back and you look at that, you can't be mad at that. You can't like say like, you know, oh well, this is why like I used to drink, or this is why I used to do that. This is why I used to. Those things that have done that have built you. That's your brick and mortar that has set the stage for your mind. So you when you think back at that, then you look at yourself. That's your pat on the back, and that's like saying, well, keep going. And there's other people. I can help people who feel the same way. And, you know what I mean? Even if it's just saying a few choice words to them. But I have no room for any of that. And when I'm done, I got other things to do. I have a daughter. That is my first obligation, that I would never let her mind ever feel like that. And I truly believe that sometimes when that happens, the stage is set so that you can raise somebody and really understand that they don't have to ever feel like that. They could actually take that next level. It's like old money. You know how old money is? Well, if you raise a kid right and explain things to him and make him start at the bottom of that business, say it's a 2 generation, that 3rd generation. You say, no. You're not going to sit up here and do this. You're going to start at the bottom in the basement with those guys doing this, moving that. You're going to be out in the field. You're not going to have it easy. That's really how it should be. But you know, that's anything that can hold you back. And you got an option of pushing it away and getting and being done with it, I would be done with it. I mean, I wouldn't waste my time. Life is too short. And the whole thing, people say, well, maybe you can build them up. Maybe you could. No, because that ship has sailed. You know what I mean? And
I was kind of reluctant to ask you about through our conversations before, you know, because I just didn't want to bring back any of that stuff. But I'm so happy that you're able to, because this is the point where I can't connect with my clients on that level, because like I said, I was blessed and came from a good home. That didn't mean I didn't go through the hell of the hells and the shit of the shit, because I've been through some dark, which people don't recover from. And that's something in life that you got to build. And like you were talking about, you got to be able to build yourself up from that. And that's what, you know, I'm so glad that you're able to open up to that, because I feel like that just the words that you just said right there, Aaron, could inspire these guys and let them know that here's somebody like you that's been like that to that, because a lot of times they don't understand that. And they're like, you know, they don't see a way of getting out of it because they're surrounded by these people. They don't have a place to go, you know, and again, here, you know, I'm so you know, I really appreciate you opening up and being able to talk about that. And that's the one, you know, why I wanted you to talk about that. I know we have a few other things we wanted to talk about, because I do have these guys are having a hard time in it, and I wanted, and I explained to them your situation as well, and so they know about you and where you've come from, and you know, look at you now, you know, because you gotta stay strong, and like for the reason you said, especially for the little girl that you got holding you right now.
Well, you know what? Because here's the thing. You know, there's always somebody who's had it worse, and you just got to remember that there's always somebody who's had it worse. So you know, don't feel bad about yourself. Don't compare your stories ever to anybody. Always like just always keep a clear mind. But like right now, like up here in Buffalo, we don't have any gyms open, none, and they're literally going door to door. Like when I'm saying door to door, I mean I've seen the sheriff just out and about with the crew going from business to business, which is ridiculous.
Wow.
Because yeah. So I built, this is my gym, and when you got like an obstacle, so I just went and I got this stuff from Home Depot, and you know, I have this right here. So this is what I'm gonna make her first. This is gonna be her first like deadlift bar and bench bar. I'm gonna just I got a buddy behind me who welds.
Welder?
So so we're gonna weld some stuff on some weights on there, and as we go along, we can weld a little bit more.
Nice.
But So this
To
is
the
my
what?
gym. I got my leg weights, old school dumbbell. Just those regular dumbbells from wherever. I got all my stuff at garage sales, and gyms throw stuff away, which is insane.
Oh yeah.
These right here.
Hey, you remember when when World Gym switched over? They gave me a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you remember when they bought but they brought all new stuff in there, and I asked
yeah,
the manager, and the manager was like, "Pull up your card, I'll give you whatever you want." So
yeah.
you're
So
right
I got,
about that. Just throwing good equipment away. They're just gonna literally throw it in the dumpster.
oh my God, this is crazy. So this is my best friend right here. This is my squat rack right here.
What's her name?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't name her. That's a good idea right there. See? But look at this is where I bench too, because I mean I got to be able to do a little bit of weight. And so here's my what do they call it? The tampon? But I get under here, I use this milk crate or whatever that thing is. And I get under there, that's my chest. I do my dips. I'll put my hands here. I got another one. I just use two chairs. I put my feet up here. I do my dips, sets of 50. I don't know if you guys know this. Mike Tyson used to do sets like him and Herschel Walker with that stuff with like push-ups, sit-ups, dips, everything with pull-ups. But he used to do they used to do 500. I know Mike Tyson was 500.
You're right. Herschel Walker, man, he's still a bad dude right now, man. He still does crazy like 1,000 push-ups a day or sit-ups, and you can see why he got where he got, because the same thing with Mike Tyson. But yeah, man, one of my first podcasts was with a friend of mine. Was my boss. He opened up a private studio there in Hamburg, and I'm feeling for it now. I didn't know you guys closed everything down again.
Oh yeah, so it's closed. Here's the thing.
Man.
It was on the news. So Catalyst, the girl from Catalyst who owns it, they don't want to put it on the news because they don't want it to be a chain reaction. So they put it on one time, and they wouldn't even show everybody protesting. I don't know if you know that. You didn't know this. Everybody lined up, and everybody bought their squat racks, bench presses. They had all kind of equipment all over by the Bill Stadium, and everybody was working out in the street and the sidewalks and all over the place. You didn't know that?
No.
It was out of control.
I'd like to get that video and actually put it. There's got to be a video on it somewhere, man. That would be awesome. That's Buff Tough for you, Buffalo, New York.
If you want to get into some, like, do a show that would be show a little political stuff and how we roll up here. Like, there's Priscilla Pagliai. She works out at all the gyms. She's got a membership at every gym in Buffalo, like Catalyst, LA Fitness, Crunch, Southtown. I mean, like, she works out all over.
Yeah. And so if people don't know, that's the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres owner's wife. Yeah, I heard she's really into that and does. That's awesome, man. Man, I really feel for the small gym owners out there, because who knows if they'll be able to recover from this.
Well, they got a lot. There's Catalyst has got a lawsuit against New York State. Some of the other gyms are just staying open. Justin Draper, I think he's just staying open over at Jada Blitz. I think in Lackawanna, I think the steel mill's open. I mean, like, here's the thing. They have members. I think the members just come in, and it's how everything rolls. Yeah. I mean, even the last time, that's what everybody was doing for the most part, anyways, except for like the big corporations, like like Crunch. That's where I go.
Right.
And it was tough. It was tough because they're from all over New York City and all over, so they had to close because it was like this, babe. Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
With two hands.
Yeah. So I had the same kind of room. I got one room basically designated my workout room, and the coronavirus set me up for that. I came up with programs which I think you were talking about with Mike Tyson, where they do calisthenics, so body weight exercises. And so I'll leave a link for people that want to check that out. So because coronavirus is really what inspired me to do these podcasts, inspired me to put these programs, and you know.
Put one of these up. Right?
I had one of those when I think I was telling you about that. My father put that, the whole house was shaved. My mom hated it.
See, now when you do something, look who wants to do it.
Punch that thing. Punch it.
Punch it. Let's go. Get it. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Man, you're right, dude. She got a beautiful smile, man.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those teeth.
Yeah. Oh, we brush them. We do everything right across the board. Everything right across the board.
Yeah, I saw that video where you guys were outside doing like a circuit training in the park. Was it the McKinley Mall?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I could see the backdrop of it, man. That was awesome. I love it.
Yep. Well, you know what happened is I was trying to take her to the movies because she was old enough to go to the movies. And we got there and I'm like, well, there's nothing to do. Let's train right here.
So, because the movies were shut down.
They were shut down, so I'm like, well, I always carry 12-pounders in my truck, just in case, like, you know, the Russians attack or something.
That's me.
In the woods, I'd still have to work out.
I was just in an accident, so that's all in my car right now. But I always have a bag. I always tell my clients, I'll train you anywhere, any place, anytime, ready to go. Speaking of, so I wanted to show you this, man. I've shown you this, right? Look at what's coming in for me.
Turmeric?
Yeah, I grow it myself, man. It's real easy to grow, especially here down south, down here in North Carolina. So it's once it starts getting cold, the trees break down a little bit, and then, man, I got enough almost to last me a year. I freeze it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I wanted to show you this one. This is have you ever had a Japanese sweet potato?
No.
Go to Whole Foods, I know has them, but like sweet potatoes and me, I'm like, they're all right. But this thing is like, it's like butter is the best way I could explain it. You don't have to put no butter on it. It just tastes like butter, but with all the nutritional benefits of it. And so, you know, we spoke a little bit. Are you 100% on a plant-based diet?
No, I do. I'll have because here, listen, I'll tell you what. So right now, like I went back, I pick my battles. I know that everybody's going to be like eating stuff, this and that. And like, you know, here, you want to know something? So this girl messaged me. She's like, oh, blah, 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 let's hang out, blah, blah, blah. You know, it was a little crazier than that, you know. But so she's like, I want to see some skin. So I was down here working out and I did. And so I beefed up. I put on 10 pounds. To me, 10 pounds is 10 pounds. And you can't always look great. I mean, you know, you can, but it's if you're really eating a little bit more than you should, like as far as like looking good wise, then, you know, you're gonna not be as cut, you know. And it's winter up here and it's cold and the gyms are closed. So I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I'll do like a three week bulk where I'm just like eating stuff. I'll tell you what though. So I absolutely refuse to eat like you know, real bad like meats. I won't. It's like,
yeah. I noticed your turkey was like no antibiotics. Yeah, all organic, and I got the same thing.
Yeah, the turkey was no antibiotics, no hormones ever. Sometimes you're paying for they got the FDA approved organic, so you don't know if maybe they're just drinking or eating what kind of feed or seed. Sometimes I don't know, you know. But what I do know is that, like, you know, it was for one day. It was eating a turkey, and I wanted it to taste good. And a couple people were murdering me, so I did. I got this. I read up on the bags, and they said if you don't go over a certain thing, I put it in the bag for a little bit. And nobody was even commenting on how good my sweet potatoes were or how good my
all your side dishes.
Yeah, I did half cranberries, then I did half where I crushed up the cranberries and boiled them. And and then everybody was like, matter of fact, it was Priscilla's mom. She's like, you should absolutely never ever put a turkey in a bag ever. I'm like, I put the turkey in the bag for 2 hours at like 300 degrees, and everybody's ready to murder me. You know what I mean?
How did it come out?
Oh, dude, I'm still crushing it. I'm still eating it.
I had a 22-pound bird. I've been eating turkey for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the last 4 days.
Yeah, but
It
sometimes
was so
you
cheap.
do that, especially like guys like us. Dude, sometimes you have to do that. You have to take at least a couple days, and you just gotta say, listen, I'm gonna eat the pizza. I'm going to get a sub 3 hours later. I'm going out for a fish fry. I'm chugging beers.
Right.
You gotta
Hey,
You know what I mean?
quick question. So the girl that you took a picture with your shirt off, what did she say when she got the picture?
Oh, dude, she like it. I could tell she faded with her comment right away.
Yeah.
So
And
go
this
ahead.
and I mean and so guys, I don't know if you watched the last video, but Aaron was doing a little flexing and stuff. I think looks phenomenal, and to have that amount of muscle mass for just eating, like you stated, not 100% plant-based, but more plant-based than anything. Yeah, right. So and you know, most people would not think that you could do that eating more plant-based. When I was actually up there for my grandmother's funeral, and I got a chance to hang out with Aaron for a little bit. Made me one of his beet smoothies, which was awesome. Even his little girl drinks them. And so you know that they're that good. And so most people always will look, oh, I don't know how you could drink that. They're really good. I think you start your day pretty much every day off with it, right?
I do. I was actually I didn't make one yet because she helps me, and it's probably like a 12 or 10 or 12 minute long thing, but I can do it quick. I was gonna see if you wanted maybe the next show or something like that. But
yeah, let's do that in the next one. But and then so how much meat would you say that you're taking in? Maybe one meal, or you'll go literally a day no meat? I just sort of trying to see how we can how do you normally break it down?
Oh, you mean like on a regular basis? Like so.
Yeah.
I mean, I go for probably. I mean, the most I went was like probably about like a month and a half. Then I had a little bit of. I made rice, basmati rice, and then I put just like a nice big like probably like 3 cups of ground organic turkey in there, and I put rice, carrots, celery, and I let it all like boil together, and then I had that for like a couple meals for like I don't know, maybe like 2 days, and then I went right back to the dude. I'm huge on. I love garbanzo beans and sunflower seeds. I mean, if you take a big giant, you just take a head of lettuce. You get like some whatever kind of lettuce you like, Boston lettuce or whatever, and then you take your nice handful of like sunflower seeds, salted, and the organic ones aren't even that much more. They're like $1 more,
Yeah.
And you throw a handful of those on, and then you throw like a whole can of garbanzo beans on there, your apple cider vinegar, and then I put like a little bit of like Ken's because it doesn't have as many chemicals or stuff in it, nothing in there that's real horrible for you.
Right. So about a month and a half of just eating meat, maybe 2 times a week.
Well, I wake up and that shake. So I chug my water. I don't know if you guys seen earlier. I had that big cylinder. It's actually a base. So I chug about 120 ounces of water in the morning, and I have 1 cup of coffee. So that means I usually go for about 12 hours. We'll just say on average, with like no food, flushing my system, letting it relax, and then so if you look at it as a month, how you someone who's just starting out, if you do that, if you look at a month of your food, you're eating, and you had a pile of food, right? You had a pile of food of things you eat. Now you just made half of your decisions of, should I eat this? Should I have that? What should I? You just took half of your decision making and cut it right in half, right? So there's the thing. Now you say, well, listen, so I'm going to have my shake. Now let me just have that shake. I'm going to put my beets, my carrots, whatever else. You can put some celery in it. I mean, listen, people are going to go, oh, it doesn't taste. Guess what? You don't want it to taste good, because to me, good doesn't taste like sugar. To me, tastes good stuff like Brewer's Yeast buds. That tastes good to me. Like garbanzo beans, I get them out of the can. I do soak them sometimes, but I have a whole cupboard full of just garbanzo beans, black beans, just to grab. And
Yeah. And one of the statements I used to always make for my clients, I'd be, because they would say, how do you eat the shakes that you did? I said, well, it took me it was a process. Like I didn't just go from whole milk as a kid to almond milk. I went skim milk and then white rice to brown rice. But I always say, if if a crab sandwich, if a crab sandwich, and that crab sandwich would extend your life for 7 years or be that much healthy and beneficial, I eat that crab sandwich. I don't know about you. I put some Frank's hot sauce on it, whatever it takes, and I get it down. If I gotta puke it up and then put it back in, and I'd always ask, and they'd be like, "Oh, you sick, coach?" And I'm like, and broccoli doesn't taste that bad. Broccoli doesn't taste like crap, And I'm sure that you've probably done a shot of nasty tequila or something back in the day, where you pounded it down, just get it in. And when you look at like you were talking about, and I think what changed me, Braun, was when I started thinking as food as an energy, or like looking at the nutrition of it and being like, holy cow, look at a quarter cup of kale gives me like 150% vitamin A and vitamin K, hey, let me get it in, I don't care if it tastes like it, but literally to me, you're tasting the vitamins and minerals in it. It's so, I guess,
I love it.
It tastes like earth. It tastes like vitamins and minerals because it's jam-packed with that stuff and not sugar like you stated.
Well, yeah, that's your fuel. So the thing is when you can embrace that, and then you start seeing results. Hold on. What do you want to do? Just get on it. You got to learn how to get on there on yourself. Yeah, put your leg over, otherwise you can't get on there. See? Yeah. But I mean, if you I don't know. I mean, if you don't like how blueberries taste and strawberries, and I mean, I put those in there because you do need some of those. And hold on, I don't know what you're saying to me.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I've sent it to Aaron, but a lot of my clients, and now they've done this where they've ranked nutritional value of foods, and of course, vegetables blow away anything else. So it goes vegetables, and then by the time you get down to, I think, I want to say 80 something, and I'll link the post in here. By the time you get down to 80, like where one I think is literally cooked kale, because you get more nutritional value out of cooked kale than you do raw kale, which drops it down to 6. But then you got all your greens, so that's why Aaron and I put them in our smoothies right away. Then you start getting into like cauliflower, broccoli, and things like that. Yeah. And your top fruits. So Aaron listed berries. So the top one is cranberries, and I think it goes blueberries, strawberries. Yeah. And those are the things that you want to put in there. And so what I teach my clients is to go the next one down. So if you don't like cranberries, strawberries, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny. I make those frozen fruity smooth. Is that from your smoothies and you just freeze them?
Yeah. Well, I make the smoothie, and then I pour them in here, and then I eat them and she eats them. Look.
Yeah. So that's what I do is I'll just tell them, drop one down. You don't like kale. Okay, go down to collards. Okay, go down to, like, I know for me, man, I don't know if you've ever tried, but I put mustard greens in a smoothie, and it's knocked me on my butt. It's just too much. So then I don't do it. I go one above and one below. And there's different varieties of kale, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. Your curly type kale is very bitter. If you go dinosaur kale and red Russian, which gives you the same nutritional content, you literally get the same nutrition, but without that bitterness. So Dinosaur, I think it's pronounced Lucinato Cal, is a cal that I like. I literally put it in I make pho, which is like people call it pho, Pho, but the correct pronunciation is pho. With you see them all over the place. The Vietnamese pho, the bowls of soup. I put that in there. I put them in my miso instead of the seaweed that most people put it in there. I cut that up and put it in there, and it's really good. It's not a bitter type green like your mustard greens and things like that.
Yeah.
But I forgot about those popsicles, man. That's a great idea. I haven't done that in a while, but I used to. I put my grapes in the freezer, which to me is like, oh, she likes it.
Loves
You
them.
like that? You like those? Oh yeah, she does. She likes it. Dude, you're awesome, man. I love it. And then to watch her take down a smoothie, man, is funny too, because and then most adults won't even touch it. And yet if we talked about this a little bit before on the other one, when you have that for your kids, and that's what's awesome about you, even if your kid isn't doing the workouts, but you have yours doing with you already at her age, it's like it's people are like, oh, how can you do that? Or at least bringing your kid to the gym and they're in daycare and they're watching you and they know that kind of sets the example. And when you're giving them good food when they're younger, it's so easier for them to eat better instead of feeding them crap. When you feed them nothing but sugar and crap all day long, then yeah, they're going to be fighting that because they don't know any better. They want what tastes good, the high sugary stuff. Dude, your cabinet looks a lot like mine, man. That's why I had to show you mine. Braun, you're gonna love Japanese sweet potatoes, baby.
I'm definitely gonna try it big time now. I mean, I keep my ginger too, so this is like I love taking a bite of it. I take a bite of the ginger,
Woo,
and
you're a tough
it feels like
bastard,
it just
man.
cleans. It's like it feels like it just cleans. So my dad, now my dad, he was the one that got me really into by example. I seen he would always go, running. He was always at the gym. He was always doing stuff like that. He liked Corvettes. He liked looking good, feeling good. I remember walking into a jewelry store and I'd walk in and he'd be standing there eating an apple and but he was always, and in the back he had a Vitamix before like anybody, man. When Vitamix first came out, people were like, "You're nuts! $300 for a blender," and that was like,
right.
That was like 30 years ago. I think Vitamix have been around for a good while now.
Yeah, you could put a piece of bark in there and that thing would grind it down.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. And look at, I mean, she's walking around. Look at, she already ate. Look at a couple bites of it. Some people can't even get something like that in their kid at all. She's got beets in there, got kale. She's got all the fruits. So I mean, and for her body, that's like us eating a popsicle the size of the Vitamix.
Right. She's getting all her vitamins all in one shot right there, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find like there's those little tricks and things like that, like a popsicle. For me, I don't like grapes, but if I put them in the freezer, and I try to teach that to my clients, you find those things. If you don't like cauliflower, if you cook it this way though, I like it. It's you gotta try and not just give up on things so easily, which most people do.
Well, speaking of, I mean, I have so here's like the organic pineapple, but I was gonna show you this. So this right here, but I'm like, this is what I'm making today. I'm gonna take this, and it's where is it? Well, this is the organic one. You can see the thing here. It's organic right there.
How you gonna cook it?
My clothes. But anyways, yeah. But so the thing is, dude, it's not cheap. One of those is like $8 for organic cauliflower. You know what I mean? And so when I eat something like that, I got, I'm picturing every time I snap off a piece of cauliflower, it's like 50 cents.
You're not gonna waste that thing.
No.
Not waste one bit.
You want to know
The thing
something?
is too, and people always say, and you can always catch sales and stuff. I always tell them too, because you'd be surprised when things go on sale or you get a manager special. That I know the food lines down here, I'll always look for that for the best meats. But then I'll buy a whole crap load of them and freeze them so I have them for later. But when people look at, they'll spend money on materialistic things. You know what I mean? Oh, I need a new coffee table and stuff like that. So because I've over the years, I'm talking to my clients and they'll be like, "What? It's so expensive. Cauliflower. That one head of cauliflower costs $8," and you're just like, man, you just went and spent a crap load of money on a trip or something that, to me, food would be a lot more beneficial than taking a trip somewhere, or especially for your family if you got young kids. That was always my number one thing, Aaron. I'm like, I can't relate because I don't have kids of my own, but I'm like, because they'd always be like, what motivates you? Well, God, and you've talked about it a bunch of times. Your own kids should motivate you, and they have feed them. You want to feed them the best stuff. You want to feed yourself the best stuff. There's a guy I'm bringing on here, and I'll let you get that in. But a good friend of mine who basically, we're going to talk about organic growing and growing your own food, and he got into it and so knowledgeable because his own mother got Alzheimer's, and in fact she just passed recently. And so that's why I've been pushing the podcast back, because I'm waiting for him. I want to give him a little bit of time before we talk again. But in his own research of Alzheimer's, has found that, and if you guys haven't do the research yourself, that it's caused mainly by the foods that we eat. And so, he grows his own food now. His whole house, everything is set to grow his own food and know what's in it. It's awesome. When I go over to his house, he literally gives me a calendar. I walk around and he'll just start throwing stuff. This is hibiscus leaves. This is this. And I'm like, oh my, and it's awesome. I don't have to put really a ton of dressing or anything on it. When it's fresh like that, it is really good. And you could just almost feel that you get energy from it, rather than, when you eat McDonald's and like as soon as that McDonald's hits your stomach, you feel like, number one, you got to go right to the bathroom. And number two, you need to take a nap because it sucks all the energy out of you.
I'll tell you what, it's a fact. Okay. This is a fact. And they can't tell me otherwise, or anybody else otherwise, but dude, if you get a visual of eating, let's say a hot dog, all that stuff in there, right? It goes into your bloodstream, right? You got tiny blood vessels all over you, right? In your brain especially. So imagine those fats clogging all that up in years and years of doing that. That's why I'm telling you, like, so we're back to, I'm going to go back a couple steps. When you have your kids eat good and you stick to your guns, especially when they're very young and you raise them up like that, and you make that, people are talking like, oh, I got to save money for retiring. I got to save this. Dude, when you're older, you don't need, and even if you're not older, you don't need all, what are you going to need? How much, what are you going to need? What you really should be doing is investing in your kids, because later on, when you're, shuffling around, and I believe I could live to, my goal is honestly like 150, maybe 200, not even telling anybody. Government will really,
you got the right brain set, man.
Yes. So your investment, you invest in them, and then they go back and see pictures and videos of people, like, making them healthy, taking them to exercise, investing your energy, your time. I think people say time is money. Well, guess what? That time and money is an investment. That's your best investment, because when you're older, dude, you're not going to want to take care of the house and stuff like that. You're not going to want to do all that stuff. When you got as much knowledge, and I believe keep getting more knowledge, older, and you see through things. Things are transparent. So, like, when you do that, you're going to just want to live in the pool house, right? Something that's probably the size of a glorified shed, right? Go in there, sit down, just, have a little dining little area, a little bit. I mean, so that's really your investment. And as far as like your brain, I mean, Dude, that's the very most important thing. Like, we've been brainwashed to think that you have to eat meat. If you don't, if you don't eat pork and this and bacon, and it's the best thing in the world, and
Yeah.
you got to build your body. And if you are what you eat, is with people think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like get all that meat that's gonna really do it for me. Yo, sexually, I mean, just do your own studies, do your own experiments.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, eat a couple hot dogs. Start your day off. Have 5 eggs, right, for breakfast. Lunch, have a hot dog, maybe a nice 80% hamburger. Have some tuna fish after. Gotta get your mercury in, and then have like a nice big fat steak. Then don't be let's see what happens. And try to jump the old lady a little bit later. See what your percentage is. See if you're pushing at 60%. Or if you got a hard on all the way from your sandbar. Because guess what? When you have like a plant based, you should wake up every day, and you should only. I feel like I sleep 5 hours, 6 hours, really optimal sleep, and I wake up, and usually my buddy's up before me. That's how you're good to go. But I'm telling you,
and see how and besides your Johnson there, but eat your tuna, eat your egg, and then see how you feel, and you notice the difference. And I was, before we started the show, I was telling you about when I went completely plant-based. Like I was telling, I literally looked like Bruce Lee. I mean, I was real like 180. Haven't been that since like middle school. Completely ripped, but I didn't hardly need any sleep. I really didn't. Like, I had a conversation with my other friend. He was like, "Man, you're up because you don't need, because you're getting. It's like getting energy instead of not getting energy." And that's what I was telling you about before. When you eat an Oreo cookie, it's like it's your energy is taking to break it down. And how much energy it's giving you? 0. So when you eat stuff like kale, it's giving you more energy than it takes to break it down. You just keep getting more and more and more energy. It's like recharging a battery, and then you don't need as much sleep. That type of thing. Which they talk about, yogis don't hardly ever sleep at all because they eat the right stuff. They're calm. They're least stressful. They do the best things, and they charge themselves rather than put out too much energy. Which, Braun, when you and I started bodybuilding, remember how back in the day it was like eat 6 meals a day, 40 grams of protein every day. So, man, I don't know about you, but I would eat like a dozen eggs in the morning. Tuna fish out of a can, hard-boiled eggs. I mean, and then it was crazy. And, I was like, yeah, I got really good results, because I was like just eating nothing but protein. But that's back in the day what they used to tell you to eat. And then I was in a bookstore and read the China study. I don't know if you ever read that. So I'm going through books, and then this book pops out on me, and it talks about the dangers of eating too much meat and how research is now showing that literally eating meat products causes diseases and sicknesses. And that book is actually about guys that were in the cattle industry, and they wanted to do so. Back in the day when Aaron and I were eating all that meat, they used to talk about how red meat was not really good for you. So these guys wanted to prove that wrong, and then what they found out was the opposite. And so it's called the China study because there's this a village in China where they're kind of isolated, where these groups of people literally have very few sicknesses, hardly any arthritis, things like that. And then when they looked into their diet, that's what they found, was that they really hardly ate any meat.
I gotta jump in. Since I've been crushing this turkey, and I mean, I am not used to eating like that. I'm not, my body's not used to it. So I'll tell you what, everything I'm telling you is zero exaggeration. Just because we're on camera and this and that, this isn't the stage like we're, for bodybuilding where you're showmanship. This is just being honest because other people can relate. So I hit my elbow last night. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is up with my elbow? Because now as soon as I had that turkey, my knee, behind my knee got inflamed, right? I felt it in my toe. And then I could feel, remember I had a little back injury. well, more than a little back injury, but everything that has ever like was bad from not being used to from that eating the meat and the whatever's in there and the everything. I swear, like the back. If I could show you, I had a ball in the back of right behind my knee, and I could feel all that. I could feel every injury that was ever there. Now, if you would have came to see me last week, and you did a workout with me, squatting 50 reps, 100 reps in a row, this and that, I can feel the difference in the meat. That's God's honest truth from eating that. And so I cannot wait for that turkey to be gone out of the fridge because
I just finished it actually right before that I got on here with you. I got the plate in front of me, but I didn't want to throw it away. But the same thing, you gotta have, you indulge, and that's one thing I do agree with is, hey, every once in a while I'm gonna have a Reese's or I'm gonna eat some turkey and then go right back into getting what we know works. And so, it's funny. So I've noticed the same thing when I'm eating a lot more plant-based things, and you were saying is in my workouts I recover a lot quicker. I can tell that, and so you were saying that. So let alone you could feel the inflammation, but I also knew there's a nurse, and I tried to get her on the podcast because I really wanted to talk about her experience, and she was just she didn't like the way she sounded on video, and so. But I remember first meeting her, and she had an basically an autoimmune response to food, very sensitive, which I've come across a few people like this in their life, swollen fingers and stuff like that, constantly in pain. And then, I'd always just kind of shoot the crap with her. Yeah. I mean, you could see it in her, especially, when she pointed it out, now not right off the bat, and then months later, she was talking to me, and I asked, how are things going? And she's like, and I would talk to her about this and what I've come across, and she's like, yeah, I've gone on this basically anti-inflammatory where she cut the leptins out of her diet from vegetables, because even vegetables, some vegetables like nightshades, I don't know if you ever heard of that, like yeah,
tomatoes.
Yeah. So cutting those out of her diet, meats out of her diet, and honestly, her fingers were back to normal, no pain. So almost like a miracle cure to see her. And I after about 40 minutes of me hounding her to speak on it, she just, I don't know, and she's a very good looking girl too, but her insecurity, she's like, she had a Southern accent. She didn't want to talk about it. She's like, people will make fun of mine. I'm like, no, they won't. And who cares? You got back. Yeah. But, I've come across a few people like that in my life. And then, again, hearing you talk about that. And, everybody's different, to be honest with you. But what they're finding is that most people, and me and Aaron can attest, that eating more plant-based is beneficial. And some people, it might not. They might have a different, now that you hear the carnivore diet of some people that's worked for them, but in majority, and the research proves that plant-based is the way to go.
How's this sound? If anybody who's watching that wants to do something, you got to stick to it. You got to stick to this. Take a day, right? So go to sleep. Maybe don't eat after 6 o'clock. Just have some tea, this and that, whatever. Make sure it's like, some organic tea, like it's, a decent one. Then, how's this sound? Just drink your water, like for the next day, all day. If you can make it for, just until 6 o'clock, and if you can go 24 hours, right? And then, I mean, if you have to, put in your body, put in maybe like, just some fresh, a little handful of like a little bit of like greens and a little bit of food, maybe some sugars out of like, maybe like, I don't know, a kiwi or an apple or a little cut up pineapple or something. But then if you can go and then make it to the next day again, and then, I mean, I'm not going to go with the real hard one with the vinegar, but, I mean, if you can do that and then go back to eating regular food, like, as in like your shakes with, some of your stuff in there, a salad and stuff like that, I guarantee you'll feel great and things in your life will go better. I guarantee it. Because the energy that you surround yourself that comes from within you, that your inner will attract certain things. Because you got to remember, most people are running on like 30% of their energy, like efficiently of what they're capable of. You know what I mean? That's really true. What's that? What do you want me to do? She wants me to clean.
That's there you go. Yeah. Hey, so let's end the show in that, man, because let's put that challenge. Man, she's cute.
Well, she's dictating me. She's standing there and watching me clean.
She's the boss. So yeah, let's put that out there, guys. And so a little bit of if you guys haven't looked at it, a little bit of intermittent fasting, cleaning your system out, and then going. So and the best way to guys, and I've always been one of those person to always look at something and read it and then try it out for yourself, and then feel the difference. And if you notice a difference when you start doing that, that's gonna show you the best way to do it is, and it's got to be a bit of a consistency. You know, maybe one day. But literally, I would say that in 3 days of doing it, you would know the difference and feel the difference.
I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Just this is one of them that I do. So here's my glass. So see how big. I'll show it real quick to So here's the size of my arm, right? Then here's the size of the glass. So that's about 40 ounces of 40-ounce glass. Then you got your apple cider vinegar. Right, I would do this. This is what I do. So this is well, this one is a 2 or 3 shot glass. So I do like 2 of those, right, and then I chug one of these hot water. I put my water in my pan, and hot water. This water here, I know it's in the. This is a good container though, and a lot of people are like, no, the plastic, but I can't afford a jug that big. They're like $80.
So Aaron, just the water and the apple cider vinegar. I see some other things on your counter.
You got this is the ginger.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't have turmeric now, but you could do that. And then there's garlic. And then here's my garlic. I take this thing and I crush it, or you could just chew it up. But you got to take it out. You got to just chew it up. Do that, or you can cut it up, mince it, and put it in there and drink it with the hot water. But if you do, you can do this. If you do a 24-hour one, and so you say it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, you do two of these, which is this is 4 shots, right? 12 o'clock, do another one. 3 o'clock, do another one. 6 o'clock, do another one. That's it. Then just keep drinking your hot water. But I mean, you got to do like a little bit of this in there. You could do a little bit of garlic.
I can't see it. What was that?
The cayenne.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like. It makes your stomach do this. It's like, because it's hot, So between these three right here, dude, everything will be going like this in your guts. And it's picture you're working out. You know what I mean? It's working out. It's squeezing all the bad oils and stuff out of there. It's squeezing out all the pollution, all the old steel plant juice. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's funny, and I do cayenne in the morning. It makes me wake up, number one. Number two, it's proven to get your metabolism cranked up.
Oh, yeah.
I would just recommend people do a little bit first. I remember I went a little bit too crazy with it, but start with a little bit and then work that way up to about, I'm not sure what you do, about a 1/4 teaspoon.
Yeah.
About that, well, yeah.
Just as long as you get a little bit in you. You just need a little bit in you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
All those things that you just explained, you can guys go on there. So we're not bullshitting you. We've done our research. It's not like we're just pulling this shit out. Take a look at apple cider vinegar. I'm sure you guys have already heard about that. Garlic is proven for heart health. Ginger, a natural anti-inflammatory, ginger and turmeric. I have the turmeric right here in front of me. And then the cayenne, which is definitely, again, and when you put them together, guys, it's a natural detox. So detox your body before you go on plant-based. It's a good thing. A little bit of fasting to kind of cleanse the system out. And then try eating a plant-based diet for a few days, guys. We guarantee that you'll notice a difference. Aaron, I know your young ladies over there waiting to put you to work, man. As always, And we'll get back, man. We'll keep bringing you back on. We'll do another one with the smoothies because I mean your smoothies are top notch. Even your little girl likes them. She loves them. So,
Yeah.
Aaron, I'll drop you a line afterwards, buddy. But hey, yeah, go
One
ahead.
more thing. Make sure you tell all those young guys if they're like struggling with life situations. Best thing to do, always tell on yourself. Just tell on what you're feeling because, and just even if it's anybody, because you always feel better when you vent, and and everybody usually is understanding if you pick the right person to talk to, and you'll feel like sometimes a lot of people will be able to they'll have the same situations or something because that was important. That is important.
I agree. I like how you said that. I like to end the show on that, man. That's why I always tell those guys for me. I have my gym time, guys, but you can always contact me afterwards, and I'll be there for you and hit you right back up. And that's another guy that I have. I know on my side that I can always talk to about anything and everything, man. And Aaron, man, I always appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, especially with your little girl right there, man. She is a cutie, buddy. You got lots of work ahead of you, man. But as I see her hit the punching bag and working out, I'm sure she'll be able to take care of herself, man. Aaron.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Take care,
All
buddy.
right, Eric. We'll see you, brother.
All right. Bye.